Hey, Al, you might hear the little bit of the rain and thunder going on, but I'm gonna do this video anyway because I'm here and it's in my thought pattern. So let's move ahead with my thoughts from Tumortown for today. Bruce with you as always. So there I am now. I'm a clerk in unit management, or as I like to call myself, an assistant unit manager. So I apply myself as I was. Me and Kathy become best buds. I make myself, indispensable on, Family Feud, Celebrity Specials, because they already know me there in a sense. So I work with that and regular Family Feud. Then they assign me to American Bandstand, and I do that show. And that's with one of the worst unit managers in the business at the time. He was just mean and nasty, and I only did two tapings of American Bandstand, and it was tough. The second taping was when the Olympics was going on, so all the main crew technicians were at the Olympics, not with us. So we had people who didn't know American Bandstand from Adam. So Dick Clark comes out. They hand him this microphone. He's like, "Where's my microphone?" "I don't know. That's the microphone I got for you." No, 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 no. And everybody just goes off kilter and everything goes sideways in a hurry, right? And it just so happens that all the heads of daytime programming from New York happen to be there. And, we got to straighten all this out. We got to teach these guys how this works. Dick Clark's all torqued out. Everybody's upset. So we're in the control room, and I just throw myself under the bus. I just say, "I'm sorry, sir. My fault. I should have seen this coming and made preparations for it, notified everybody of what the stuff that they needed to know was, and I didn't. I'm terribly sorry. It's all my fault." And I did it in front of, the guys from New York, everybody in the control room. So, I fell on the sword. I know he appreciated it, but, it was what it was, and we got through it and we did it, but after that I was like, hey, when do you think I might be able to get a jacket? Because back then the shows gave out these, like flight jackets, nice little satin flight jackets with the show logo, and all that. And the bandstand was a pretty nice little jacket. He was like, "Well, you've done two. After you do the third one, we'll get you a jacket." I was like, "Are you kidding me? I just threw myself under the bus for you. I mean, come on, a jacket, for God's sakes. Never did get a jacket, as it turned out, but whatever. So, as far as I can say about the things I learned in unit management, about certain things, Family Feud, Richard Dawson could be a real mean guy when he wanted to be. And that was just the way that show went. You just kind of had to live with that. And Dick Clark was very cheap back at the time. He had all the kids change clothes between shows out in the parking lot. So everybody that lived up on the hill behind the studio could look down and see the kids doing this. And they kept complaining, complaining, complaining. They finally won the battle with, I think, the local city council, whoever it was. And he was forced to rent an additional soundstage space so the kids had a place to change between shows. And he also made a deal with Kentucky Fried Chicken. So everything in craft services was Kentucky Fried Chicken. Every meal was Kentucky Fried Chicken. Any snack or whatever came from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Crew hated it, because you went to any other show and you got really nice craft service layouts. Nice food, nice snacks, nice drink carts, everything. Here, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Absolutely hated it. But, what are you going to do? And there was a task in unit management at the time where you got a weekly printout from New York of all the charges to all the shows. And somebody had to separate those and give those to the unit managers so they could sort it out and find any mischarges that were there. So I took on that responsibility. Nobody really wanted to do it, but I had no problem with it, I was good at it. So I would quickly get it out to the people. They would come back to me with what the issues were, where they thought the things was, and I very quickly became very good at figuring out where the problems were coming from. I set about finding my equal, my, clerk equal in all the various departments, because departments were known to cross bill, right? Or double bill. And I'm like, you learned how to spot that pretty fast. So I would just, call the guy or girl who was my counterpart over in engineering or sets or wherever and say, hey, these charges, I think these are double charges. I think these are cross charges. Whatever, look at it, get back to me. And there could be data entry errors. The people plugging the information in. And they were out at Century City. I hooked up with a girl out there, and I would send her flowers and chocolates. Became good buddies with her, so I could sort out a data entry error like that. Boom, done. And I got really good at seeing all these things pretty fast, knowing what it was, and being able to resolve them for everybody pretty quickly. And everybody really, really liked that. And that was part of what was called financial control. So that I became very, very good at, but it would end up kind of being my demise in a sense as we went down the road. Because within, we were I think a month away, something like that, a month, 5 weeks away from becoming permanent. And we'd already been told we're going to become permanent. That's the deal, blah, blah, blah. The strike happened. The actor strike followed by a writer strike. So everything shut down. And then they were, well, 2 of these positions were not going to, make permanent. Well, I knew I was one of those. There was no way I wasn't, because I was a free hand. There was a guy in commercial integration. He wasn't going anywhere. There was a girl in the accounting area. She wasn't going anywhere. It was me and this other girl. And this other girl had a master's, an MBA, believe it or not. But she was just this chain-smoking bag of nerves who couldn't do anything and couldn't get out of her way. She was useless. And then it was at that moment they came and said, give her that, job function that you do for financial control and train her to do it, which I tried to do. But she was horrible, because when she'd see an error, she would not go to the clerk. She'd go to the head of the department. And the head of the department would be calling, the unit manager going, what the heck is this chick calling, telling me what the heck to do? Who in the heck does she think she is, you just didn't do things that way, That's not the way you played the game. But I didn't realize until later that she was dating one of the guys upstairs in financial control. So, what are you going to do, right? So, at any rate, they finally brought the hammer down, brought me in, and said, we hate to do this, but basically you have basically 2 choices. You can go back to being a page, you can quit and go do whatever you want to do, or I have a lateral move, which would be a full-time, permanent move into financial control, basically taking that thing you did, with all those printouts every week, and doing that function, except doing it within financial control, not within unit management. And initially I was like, I certainly would do that, And I'm being told this by the head of the unit management department. I said, well, who would be my clerk? And they were like, oh, no. You will be the clerk. You'll be working for the other chick, Janet, that you trained, the girl who couldn't work her way out of a wet paper bag. And, this is one of those moments, in life, you turn left, you turn right. Now I could have tried to step back, let my intellectual mind think this over, work this through, but my emotions just took over, right? My pride. And I was like, no. I'm the one who should have that job. She should be working for me. This is backwards. I can't work for that girl. She's, no. That's just not the way this is supposed to work. And I turned it down. And, I don't know what would have happened had I taken it. Would I have ever gotten back into unit management? I don't know. That whole department, financial control, by the way, would be gone in a year and a half. Wouldn't even exist anymore. So, I don't know. I'll never know what would have happened had I said yes, sucked it up, took the job, and stayed at ABC and sorted it out. But I wasn't going to go back to being a page because with the strike, there was virtually no work. I would have been making no more money. So basically, I ended up leaving ABC at that point. And that was sad. That really busted my hump. But, that's the way the dice rolled there. The one thing I will say is as I was walking out of Neil's office from him telling me that, Don, the unit manager of Bandstand, marched in there and I could hear him yelling, "What are you doing letting him go? He's the best clerk we have in this building." For whatever it's worth, I never got my jacket, but by God, he went in there and stood up for me. And that made me feel good, that he did that. I appreciated that, So basically that ended my time at ABC, unfortunately. That's the way it kind of walked away. So I had to regroup and see where we went from there. And, that's the closing story of my tale of Hollywood. We'll save that for next time. Peace and hang 10.